This time the rider stops, takes his hand off the bar, but does not put his foot down, so it's a clean. Note in this example, the rider gets stuck on the ledge, hops around a bit, doesn't put his feet down, takes his hand off the bar, but does not have his feet down, so it's a clean. This time the rider gets stuck on the ledge, hops around and pushes with his toes. However, his feet are clearly on the foot pegs, so this does not count for any points. This is a clean. If the rider rides on the boundary tape but not over it, it's a clean. Here again, the rider is clean, even though he's on that ribbon. Here the rider stretches the ribbon with the bike, but this is still a clean. It's also okay if a rider stretches the ribbon off of his bike to keep himself clean. Here again, the rider frees up his rear tire from the ribbon without penalty. In this example, the rider floats his rear wheel over a boundary marker for a clean. Here the rider rides right over the top of a marker. He must be clearly on the wrong side of the marker for him to get a 5. This time the rider floats his axle over the marker of another gate, but does not follow it through with the rear axle, so it's a clean. In this case, the rider uses his tire to support and maintain his balance, so there's no penalty. This is a clean. The rider may also lean a foot peg against a rock without penalty. Here the rider scrapes his foot and does not use it for support, so it's a clean. Any part of the rider's body in contact with an obstacle not used for support is a clean. A rider can use a variety of hops and hopping side to side, etc., as long as he doesn't go backwards to set up for an obstacle without penalty. Sometimes when a rider gets too close to an obstacle, he will use a series of legal hopping and nose wheelies to wind up behind, giving him a better spot to start from. In this case, you see the rider gets a couple of feet behind where he was to get through the gate with a clean. In this example, you see the rider's front axle gets clearly outside of the gate, so anything after that point is irrelevant. This is a clean. Sometimes, at the observer's discretion, you can grant a rider a re-ride due to a balk. In this case, there may be a minder or maybe another rider that accidentally got in the way of the rider as he was trying to negotiate the section. The rider must be called into the section by the observer. If a rider starts without being called into the section, he gets a 5. In this case, you see he started without the observer signaling him. Unsportsmanlike conduct or profanity by the rider or his minder will result in an extra 5-point penalty. That concludes the training portion of the video. Now you can take these newfound skills and apply them to the following rides. Stop the DVD after each ride and then score it and restart. Here the rider takes 5 dabs, but we only count 3. In this case, the rider goes through gates of 2 different classes, so regardless of his class, it's a 5. Here the rider clearly gets a 2. This is not a dismount and the bike does not move backwards, so it's only a 2. So this concludes the NATC Observer training video. Remember to give the rider the benefit of the doubt, but be consistent and fair to all of the riders. You're in charge of your section and your decisions are final. If you do have any questions, please consult with the NATC sporting steward or your local event organizers.